That's my goal. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go from something that is nerve wracking, but not necessarily going to cause too much cause for concern, to something that is just head scratching. Gal Gadot apparently is going to be in development for a third Wonder Woman movie with Peter Safran and James Gunn. So we don't know any details as to if she is still Wonder Woman or if she's just going to help out in this movie. Maybe she's directing. We don't know. So we don't know any core details, but this is definitely something I wanted to bring up because it's like, how do we all feel about the new DC timeline? Because or not the DC timeline, but this new reboot where it's like a soft reboot. We are getting a few characters from the original timeline that we have. Like we're getting all the Peacemaker characters, the Amanda Waller characters, and then also you have Gal Gadot apparently returning, but yet you got rid of Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, arguably one of the best parts of this last franchise. Don't get me wrong, Gal Gadot was definitely good too. But and I like Gal Gadot. I don't hate her. She's fine. I don't dislike the woman. She's perfectly fine. She was a great Wonder Woman. Had a good first movie, a batshit insane second movie, and not in the best way. Entertaining at least. But yeah,
I think it's just they're trying to pick up the pieces. That's literally all they're doing at this point. Like, is just trying their best to basically try to make sense of everything. Since they kind of just said, remember that whole timeline that we decided to push out? Yeah, fuck that shit.
This is our new one.
Yeah.
They shot themselves in the foot, and they're trying to hobble along.
Yeah, pretty much. At least trying to hobble along.
DC's been doing that. But DC's been doing that for years.
That is true.
Let's just hope they get it right. Honestly, it's in a wheel. They're in a wheelchair at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They keep shooting themselves in the same goddamn foot.
So that's my point. Really I'm like, how would you guys like? I like the idea that they're bringing over Blue Beetle. I think that's perfectly fine, especially because he's getting his first movie. But my thing is it's like, okay, look, if you're gonna reboot it, as much as I like John Cena and all the other characters that are in Peacemaker, and I get why he didn't cut it because it's his freaking characters, and I like the actress they have for fucking Waller, but in my personal opinion, go for a hard reboot. Get us all new cast to play these characters, and that's fine. I don't hate that. But it's like, if you're gonna pick and choose what you want to keep, why the fuck couldn't you patch things up with at least Ben Affleck? I understand Henry Cavill got fucked over by Warner Brothers way too many goddamn times, but like at the very least, keep them. Like I would argue definitely keep Gal Gadot as well. But it's just like, you're going to confuse people, especially with the fact that we're also going to have Matt Reeves' Batman universe doing its own thing. It's its own universe. So we're going to have two competing universes in live action.
Which is going to be
it's going to be confusing.
It's going to be...
Yeah.
But it isn't the first time that they had a confusing situation for DC, though.
That is true. And I will say that that James Gunn has announced that he said, look, we're not going to follow Marvel where you have to watch 2 movies and 3 shows, waste 10 hours just to watch this next movie and catch up. Whereas, he's like, yeah, no, if you haven't watched this show that ties into this character, you don't need to watch the show. You can watch the movie, and then if you're interested, watch the show, but you don't have to watch the show. If you just want to watch the movies, you can follow along just fine.
They're trying to make
thank God he said that.
They're trying to make it accessible to anybody and everybody without it seeming like you have to have priority to whatever show that comes on or whatever movie that comes on. Like you have to watch it.
Yeah, and that's arguably what Marvel's running into. Like technically, in order to watch Multiverse of Madness, you had to have at least watched WandaVision in order to be mostly caught up. Another instance would be now apparently Falcon and Winter Soldier, Armor Wars, Secret Invasion is all going to lead into Captain America: Brave New World, as well as the Thunderbolts. So it's like, okay, what?
Armor Wars? When did we get
Armor Wars is going to be coming out soon. I'm just saying, like, that's that's all what you have.
I thought I had missed something already.
No.
Yeah, no. Armor Wars is supposed to come out, I believe, this winter.
I don't think so. They would have marketed by now.
I don't.
Yeah, there would be a lot more.
And it probably got delayed too because of the strikes.
Yeah. I think the original time frame was supposed to come out like this fall.
Probably, but they pushed back their time frame so many different times. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but who knows?
I think they're just trying to go for a different approach this time. Hopefully, it works out for them.
I don't hate,
Hopefully,
and that's
does.
the thing. I
But
hope it works
probably
out
won't.
great too. It's just we're gonna have to see how Blue Beetle performs this month, and then of course we're also gonna have to see this fall or this December on how Aquaman 2 performs, and I don't think it's gonna perform well.
I think Blue
They're
Beetle's
not-
gonna
I-
be fine. I don't think it'll break records because of how just
The marketing is terrible.
just the readjustment of everything that's happening with the timeline and stuff, and also like marketing, like you said.
Yeah.
But I think Blue Beetle will be fine. I think it'll have average viewership. I think it'll have like an average sale on the box office.
Well, I think it's gonna definitely be kind of like I don't think it's gonna perform as well as Black Panther, but I think it's gonna be like the Hispanic equivalent to Black Panther because this is kind of like one of those big. We finally got a Mexican lead as a superhero in this movie, and I think that's what's ultimately going to help this movie. But yeah, that's my personal belief.
I think it might break even. It could break even.
I hope it at least breaks even. I hope it makes a little bit of. I hope it makes a little bit of money. Now, granted, because there is little to no marketing, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Now,
that's what's hard because of the.
That's gonna make it easier to make its money back, though.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Because the real reason why most movies
a lot of people have a lot of people are really disappointed with DC with the DC movies in general because of everything that's happened in the past few years.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are really do not have a lot of faith in it.
No.
And definitely don't have a lot of faith in Warner Brothers in general right now.
No.
Because of the shit that's going on. So
especially what they pulled with the whole Flash incident. That they
it's not just that's a big can of worms. It's not just Flash. It's also their parent company that they're sponsoring, Rooster Teeth, that's over here in Austin, Texas. Which there was a lot of shit and drama with that company. There is a lot of drama all over the place with that company right now. Like
Warner Brothers is in serious hot water right now.
Not as bad as Disney though, because Disney's broke. No,
but also
wow, that'd be hilarious to find out.
Speaking of Aquaman, I really don't see it doing anything because of the fact of once we get our trailer, once we have the release, sure, a few people are going to go see it, but because of how events transpired between Johnny Depp
and Amber
Heard, I really think it's going to be another situation like what we had with the D&D movie. I think the D&D movie where a lot of people are going to boycott it and not go see it.
That is true, and actually, unfortunately, the D&D movie was a flop in the box office, and I think part of it was because it is a hard movie to market, and if you're not a D&D fan, obviously it's going to be like, well, that just looks like a regular generic just generic comedy fantasy, and it's like, well, yeah, but that's what a D&D campaign is. It's not meant to be this groundbreaking series. It's just supposed to be a fun waste of time.
Yeah,
and that's what that movie was. I'm not saying it's a waste of time.
Which really sucks that it was a flop because it was a great movie.
It was a really
great movie.
I enjoyed that whole entire movie. Didn't matter.
I saw it 3 times in theaters. Of course, it's a good movie. That's one of the few movies I have ever seen in 3 times. And I've seen a couple movies once or twice in theaters. I have not seen any movie aside from
Spider-Verse, I'm assuming.
No, actually, believe it or not, I actually saw that and Guardians. I saw D&D and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 times.
And
first time I saw them is because I just got early access.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing with the Aquaman thing was that they're going to take out Amber Heard from some of the scenes.
That's one of the rumors, but I don't think it's going to happen.
But even
I don't
Gallows,
think so either.
even though that whether they decide to take her out or not, the damage has already been done.
Yeah,
the damage has already been done, and when people
also,
have their
Jason
mindset.
Been officially casted as Aquaman going forward, so a lot of people are like, well, look, if we're going to get this new timeline, then what the fuck is the point of seeing these movies? That's why the director of Blue Beetle had to come out and say, no, this movie is a part of the new franchise because it's separate enough. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think it'll probably I don't want to say do as bad as the Flash. It might do a little better.
I think Blue Beetle will probably do better than the Flash. Definitely Aquaman.
Well, I'm talking about Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman.
I'm talking about Aquaman.
I don't know. It might do just slightly better. It might slightly do better.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It might do slightly better than the Flash. Blue Beetle, hopefully, because from the trailers I've seen for Blue Beetle, it looks pretty good.
You know what else?
It looks
funny?
like it could...
I have not seen a single trailer for Aquaman.
Yeah,
that is true. That is very true. That haven't done it.
And it's supposed to come out in December, and we haven't seen a trailer yet.
We'll probably get a trailer either the end of this month or sometime next month.
Maybe.
And I'm assuming
hopefully sometime next
trial stuff too, like, and all just a here and there of like if they're gonna replace her or not. And I think just a lot of stuff that's like.
Well, obviously they're going to replace Aquaman
behind the scenes.
Mera. They're going to replace both of them at some point. Yeah. I honestly, in my opinion, if you don't cast Alexander Skarsgård as Lex Luthor, I think he would make a really good Aquaman. In my personal opinion, I think he would do just fine as that character. He's got the jawline for it, in my opinion, and also I think he would look fine with blonde hair. So there's that. It doesn't help the fact that he's a Swede. I mean, Swedes usually look good with blonde hair, in my personal opinion. That's just me. Anyways, that being said, of course, we're going to go ahead and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I would like a new Wonder Woman. I think that would be perfectly fine because Gal Gadot's fine. I don't hate her, but I definitely think like maybe have her be like a mentor to this new Wonder Woman, or have her direct. I don't know what her directing style would be like. That'd be interesting to see. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think like have her as Wonder Woman would, because that's just going to confuse the hell out of everybody.
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're supposed to, if they're rebooting the franchise as a whole.
Yeah. That's kind of my
honestly get a new Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you there. So yeah. Anyways, going from